So in today's video, we are going to discuss an implicit objects in Java, where we are going to simply deal with request and response, and the remaining implicit objects are going to be covered in further videos. So basically, request is nothing but an object of HTTP Servlet request class. Basically, this class consists of various methods that help us to fetch or manipulate the different information and resources from web pages and web servers. Okay, so in short, request is nothing but an object that helps an user to fetch any kind of information from web pages or from web servers. Okay. Again, the response is nothing but another object of HTTP Servlet response class. Basically, this class consists of various methods that helps us to provide or to transmit the resources from server to client web browser. Okay, so this was just about conceptual. I will see one JSP example where we are going to create one form tag, and then we are going to create one JSP file through which we are going to fetch the values of input fields. Okay, so this is our form tag, uh, where basically we have created an name input where we have mentioned its type as text. Here we have passed an attribute ID to mention its uniqueness, and then we have used one container or attribute name to declare that any kind of information that is going to be inserted in the name field will be stored in the name container. And then we have created one another input type, that is email. Basically, the input type is email, its ID is e, and the container to which the emails are going to be stored is email. Okay. And then at last we have created one submit button, and the value have been given as submitted. So when we click the submit button, its form is going to perform certain action. So this action is nothing but another JSP page, which is going to be which will be containing the request and response objects. So and the method we use is post. Okay. So once the form is submitted, we will come to this page. And in this page, we are going to write some Java code in order to use the request and response object. Okay. So first of all, I'll use a scriptlet to insert the Java code where I'll declare two variables that will be first will be name is equal to, and then I'll use our request object dot get parameter, and in parameter we have to simply pass our container that was name. Okay, and at last simply use semicolon. So here, while declaring the containers that are nothing but our argument, we should compulsory pass the quotes. Okay, so once the name variable is declared, basically this variable stores the name of name which we are going to be insert in our form. Then we are going to use or create one another variable for email. Okay, I simply copy this and paste it over here. I'll simply change the name of variable, that will be email, and here we'll change the container or argument field, that will be email. Okay, so basically we have created two variables. Then we will use the if condition. Basically, and main intention behind using if condition is nothing but that we want to use the response object also. So if will pass the condition if name is equal to null or email is equal to null, it will simply respond as it will be response what set content type. So basically, once the if any null values we got if we got any null values in our input field, then it should create one content type where it will be text slash HTML, and then we will use an getWriter method of JSP to display any kind of text over the web pages. So here we will write that our input field or no input. Okay. So once the if part is completed, we will use an else part to display if any kind of data is inserted or not. So while using this, I'll simply close my scriptlet tag over here in order to use the HTML tag. So I'll give here one heading that will be form have been submitted. And in paragraph tag, we simply use again scriptlet to display our Java variable that was name. So since we are going to use the declaration, we are going to use the sorry, we are using the expression. We are going to use the expression scriptlet. I'll simply copy this. And instead of name, I will simply write email. And then again, I will use a scriptlet tag for our else angle bracket. Here, I think I have created one error. It should be type. Okay. Here I will simply use br tags. And then I'll simply save this and run our form. So you have enter some name, your email, and then I'll simply click and submit. So once the submit is clicked, it will move to our JSP page. I think these two are extra. I think we refresh this. Yeah, we can see that the name have been entered as Ram and email ID having came as something. Okay. So this was about the response and request. So I'll just quickly revise that. Basically in JSP page we have used scriptlet to write the Java code. Then we use two variables to use the request or get parameter, basically request object. And then in our if part, we use the response object where we simply set the content and then printed some value. Okay. So this was all about today. Thank you.